Remember the February 2021 Texas freeze? Millions lost power and faced dangerous cold, a stark reminder of winter's power. The term polar vortex became infamous during the brutal winters of 2014 and 2019, when cities like Chicago saw temperatures colder than Antarctica. These events tested our infrastructure and resilience, teaching us that extreme cold demands respect and preparation. Now, as December 2025 approaches, meteorologists are seeing signs of something even bigger. A historic, widespread, and prolonged deep freeze could be on the way. This isn't just a cold snap. We're talking about record-breaking temperatures stretching from the northern plains to the Gulf Coast, impacting tens of millions. What's unusual is the timing and intensity of the atmospheric setup, a rare event unfolding in the stratosphere, a potential collapse of the polar vortex. When this circulation of Arctic air weakens, it sends frigid air southward, right into our backyards. The data from weather balloons, satellites, and computer models all point to the same chilling story. This is the time to pay attention and prepare, because readiness is our best defense against what could be an unforgettable December. The polar vortex sounds dramatic, but it's a normal part of our atmosphere, a spinning mass of cold air high above the North Pole, held in place by strong winds. When these winds are strong, the cold stays locked in the Arctic, but if they weaken, the vortex wobbles and stretches, letting frigid air escape south. Think of it as a fence breaking down, allowing Arctic cold to spill into North America, Europe, and Asia. The polar vortex itself is far above us, but its behavior shapes the jet stream closer to the surface. When the vortex weakens, the jet stream buckles, creating a superhighway for cold air to reach us. So, when meteorologists mention the polar vortex, picture that Arctic fence failing, not a storm, but a breakdown in the system that keeps the cold contained. The stronger the vortex, the more the cold stays put. The weaker it gets, the more likely we are to get hit with Siberian-level cold. Right now, the data suggests that fence is about to get very weak. That's why forecasters are so concerned about the weeks ahead. Understanding this helps us prepare for what's coming. What can disrupt the polar vortex? A sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW. It sounds odd, but when the stratosphere rapidly warms, sometimes by 90 degrees in days, it weakens the polar vortex. This warming is caused by powerful atmospheric waves from below, which slam into the vortex and disrupt its flow. The result, the polar night jet stream weakens, sometimes even reversing, throwing the vortex into chaos. The vortex can split or stretch, setting the stage for Arctic air to escape south. The SSW happens high above, but about 2 to 3 weeks later, we feel the effects on the ground. The weakened vortex allows Arctic cold to spill south, guided by a buckled jet stream. This is why we can see major cold outbreaks coming weeks in advance. The warning shot is fired in the stratosphere, giving us time to prepare. That's the critical link between what happens above and the deep freeze below. For a historic cold outbreak, 3 ingredients must align. First, a sudden stratospheric warming disrupts the polar vortex, unlocking the Arctic's freezer. Second, a blocking high-pressure ridge forms over Alaska, forcing the jet stream north into the Arctic. Third, as the jet stream plunges south, it carves a deep trough over central North America, a perfect pathway for Arctic air. This combination creates an atmospheric superhighway for extreme cold. Right now, all 3 ingredients are lining up. An imminent SSW, a massive Alaskan ridge, and a deep trough forecast over the heart of the country. When these elements come together, it's not just a cold spell, it's a potentially record-breaking Arctic outbreak. That's why meteorologists are sounding the alarm. The stage is set for something big. Meteorologists rely on advanced computer models to forecast the weather, and right now, they're all in agreement. December 2025 looks dangerously cold. The American, European, and Canadian models all show the same pattern, a rare sign of high confidence. They predict a sudden stratospheric warming in early December, followed by a massive high-pressure ridge over western North America. This blocks milder Pacific air and forces the jet stream to buckle, opening the floodgates for Arctic air. Temperature anomalies are staggering. Some areas could see temperatures 30 to 50 degrees below normal for days. This isn't a one-day event. Models suggest the cold could last a week or more. Daytime highs may stay below zero in cities like Minneapolis and Chicago, with freezing temperatures reaching the Gulf Coast. The models are not just hinting at a cold snap, they're warning of a deep freeze that could challenge all-time records. The core of the coldest air is aimed at the central U.S., with impacts spreading east. The signal for a major, widespread Arctic outbreak in mid to late December is growing stronger with every model run. To grasp the potential of December 2025, let's look back at history's coldest waves. The Great Arctic Outbreak of 1899 brought sub-zero temperatures to every state, with ice reaching the Gulf of Mexico, a benchmark for extreme cold. In 2014, a displaced polar vortex sent wind chills to -40 and -50 in the Midwest, closing schools and businesses. The Christmas 1983 cold wave set all-time records and left over 90% of the U.S. with snow on the ground. The 2021 Texas freeze showed how prolonged cold can cripple infrastructure. What matters most is not just how cold it gets, but how long it lasts. December 2025 could rival the intensity and duration of these legendary events, with a setup that's textbook for an extreme outbreak. We're not being dramatic, just prepared for what could be one for the record books. Here's the likely timeline for the coming deep freeze. The first Arctic air arrives in the northern plains and upper Midwest between December 8th and 12th. Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota will feel it first. By mid-December, the core of the cold settles over the central U.S. Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, and even northern Texas could see prolonged, dangerous cold. This is when records may fall and power grids face their biggest test. In the third week of December, the cold spreads east and south. Atlanta to New York could see their coldest air of the season, with freezing temperatures reaching the Gulf Coast. Travel disruptions and threats to southern agriculture are likely, especially around the holidays. The sequence, north first, then central, then east and south, is classic for this pattern. Exact dates may shift, but the overall forecast is high confidence a multi-week Arctic outbreak for most of the country east of the Rockies. Now is the time to plan for a major winter event. This is a call to action. Preparation is key. For your home, check your heating system, insulate exposed pipes, and know where your water shutoff valve is. For your car, check antifreeze, test your battery, and pack a winter survival kit with blankets, a flashlight, snacks, and water. For your family, ensure everyone has warm clothing and create an emergency kit with food, water, flashlights, and medications. Talk to your family about frostbite and hypothermia and plan to stay indoors during the coldest periods. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly or those living alone. They're most vulnerable. The science is clear and the models agree. A historic cold wave is likely. By taking these steps now, you can protect your home, car, and loved ones. Stay informed, stay warm, and stay safe. Preparation starts today. We'll get through this together.